Have you ever walked away from a conversation only to spend the next few hours wondering, did I say something wrong? Why did they suddenly become so quiet? Were they disappointed in me? Meanwhile, the other person probably wasn't thinking about the conversation at all. If you've ever replayed the same moment over and over, searched for hidden meanings, noticed tiny changes in someone's voice, or felt exhausted simply because you notice everything, this video might explain why. People often call it overthinking. But that's only part of the story. What if your brain isn't trying to make your life harder? What if it's trying to protect you? Today we're going to explore the hidden psychology of people who are too aware. And by the end of this journey, you may stop blaming yourself for something your brain has been doing all along. Meet David. He's the kind of person everyone describes as thoughtful. He notices when someone sounds a little quieter than usual. He remembers the smallest details that everyone else forgets. He always tries to do the right thing. He wants people around him to feel comfortable. He never wants to hurt anyone. But every night, his mind refuses to rest. One conversation becomes 10 different possibilities. One unanswered message becomes 100 different stories. One tiny mistake grows into something much bigger than it really is. From the outside, David looks calm. Inside, his mind is running a marathon that no one else can see. If this feels familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people experience something similar every single day. And surprisingly, it doesn't happen because they're weak. It often happens because their brain is trying a little too hard to keep them safe. Before we understand how to quiet those thoughts, we first need to understand why they appear in the first place. So why does David notice so much, while other people seem to move on so easily? The answer begins with something your brain has been doing every second of your life. Right now, even as you're watching this video, your brain is scanning the world around you, the temperature of the room, the sound in the distance, the light on your screen, the position of your body. Thousands of tiny signals without you ever asking it to. Because your brain has one primary mission, not to make you happy, not to make you successful, but to keep you alive, long before modern cities, before smartphones, before conversations over coffee. Our ancestors survived by noticing the smallest changes around them, a broken branch, a strange sound, a shadow moving through the trees. Missing one small detail could mean never making it home. That ancient survival system still lives inside your brain today. For most people, it quietly fades into the background once they know they're safe. But for people like David, the scanner doesn't always slow down. It keeps searching, it keeps comparing, it keeps asking one simple question: did I miss something important? And without realizing it, the same brain that once protected our ancestors from danger can begin searching for danger inside ordinary moments of everyday life. For David, the real problem isn't noticing more. The real problem is what happens next. Every small detail becomes a question. Every question searches for an answer, and every answer creates another question. The cycle continues, long after the moment has already passed. Your brain doesn't enjoy uncertainty. It would rather create an explanation than leave a question unanswered. Thousands of years ago, that instinct helped humans survive. Today, it can quietly trap us inside our own thoughts. A delayed reply, a different tone of voice, a shorter conversation than usual. None of these things automatically mean danger, but your brain doesn't always know that. It simply notices something different. Then it starts searching. comparing, predicting, preparing. Not because it wants to make you anxious, but because it believes it's protecting you. And the more attention you give those thoughts, the more important your brain believes they are. Without realizing it, you've entered a loop where every new thought creates another one, until your mind becomes exhausted, even though nothing dangerous ever happened. By now, you might be wondering, if my brain is only trying to protect me, why does it keep making me feel worse? The answer lies in something surprisingly simple: attention. Every time you return to the same thought, your brain quietly learns something. It learns that this thought must be important, because in the language of the brain, what receives attention deserves attention. So the next time something similar happens, your brain finds that thought a little faster. It feels a little stronger. It stays a little longer. Without realizing it, you've taught your brain where to look, not on purpose, just through repetition. It's a learning system doing exactly what it was designed to do. The more attention a thought receives, the more easily it returns. And each time it returns, it asks for your attention once again. Little by little, a loop begins to form, not because your mind is broken, but because your brain is becoming efficient. Efficient at finding the very thing you've been focusing on. That's why the cycle can feel impossible to escape. Not because it's permanent, but because every repetition quietly strengthens the path. The good news is that anything the brain can learn, it can also learn differently. By now, you've probably realized something. Your mind was never trying to become your enemy. Every thought, every question, every moment you replayed began with the same purpose: to protect you. Your brain wasn't trying to create fear. It was trying to prevent it. It learned from everything you paid attention to, and over time, it simply became very good at bringing those thoughts back. Not because they were true, but because they seemed important. That means the goal isn't to force your thoughts to disappear. The goal is to teach your brain that not every thought deserves your attention. And that lesson doesn't happen overnight. It happens one small moment at a time, one breath, one choice, one ordinary day. When you notice a thought and gently let it pass, because every time you choose not to follow it, your brain learns something new. Little by little, a different path begins to grow, not through force, but through understanding, not through fear, but through patience. Maybe being too aware was never your greatest weakness. Maybe it was simply a powerful survival system, working a little harder than it needed to. And once you understand that, you stop fighting your own mind. You begin working with it. You may still notice more than other people. You may still see the tiny details. You may still care deeply. But now, those qualities no longer have to control your life. Because awareness, without understanding, can become a burden. But awareness, with understanding, can become wisdom. And perhaps, the most important thing you'll ever discover isn't how to think less. It's how to treat your own mind with a little more kindness. Follow the thread. Discover the extraordinary. Disclaimer. WonderThread Labs explores psychology, neuroscience, and human behavior through educational storytelling. While every effort is made to present information accurately and responsibly, this content is not intended to diagnose, treat, or replace professional psychological, medical, or therapeutic care. Individual experiences may vary. If you are experiencing ongoing emotional distress or mental health difficulties, please consult a qualified mental health professional or healthcare provider.